Okay, I'm back. This is the setup for the clocks. It's relatively simple, but you know, it's a little bit of trial and error the first couple of times. I think the first couple of clocks you do, you'll get it worked out. The big things I need to tell you about are the parts I need out. So I have my wrench, I have my Allen wrench, I have my two TVs, and as you'll notice, one of the TVs has no brackets on it. It has no bracket material, and the other one has bracket material. And on it has to be three things that are really important in each nut and screw. If you notice, it has a screw, a washer, and a nut. There's extra of these in the kit if you lose them, but we want to try to keep them so we don't end up having to replace them over every weekend. Another really important factor are these rubber fittings. They fit inside in between the metal. You've got to be really careful not to mash those up when you're putting in the stands, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. Then over here I have my stand. I have my cords. I have my computer. And if you come around here, you can see in every computer we put all the password information on it, so it's really simple. To log into the computer, you turn it on. It tells you what the pin is, which is 2244, and it turns the computer on. It's important that, people don't download or add things, to the computer. Make sure your tournament operators, just make sure they're all turned on before you start. And then also you'll see here, I've already got out one of our extension cords to connect everything. So the first thing I do is, and this may part of the video may be a little bit long and boring, you may need to fast forward to it. But if you notice, the TVs have all the plugs at the bottom of them and then all the pieces. So what I like to do is I like to lay out all my stuff out on a mat, and then I can put them together a lot faster. I'm gonna, kind of wrestle with this a little bit, but it sure is a heck of a lot easier if you have somebody to help you do this. The one thing you have to kind of make sure you do is get the TV set up in the right direction. The bottom should be facing up here. Now here's that washer. I'm gonna put that back on this side, right? And then I'm gonna have the TV lifted up. And if you notice, I kind of put it together a little bit like that. I take my screw, my washer, my nut. I haven't practiced these since summertime, so I might be a little bit rusty. But I go ahead and put my screw through my washer on there, and I put my screw on it. Like I said, I'm a little rusty. And I hand tighten it on there a little bit. And then, same on the other side. Put my screw in. And you can see those washers moving on me a little bit. My little washer and my screw. Now once that's set up, I can work a little bit easier because now it's started to set up. So I open it up and I make sure and kind of get my washers all pushed in. And what I do is I come up and I extend my base a little bit here to make sure it's sticking out from the main thing. And I tighten it up good here because at first I want to make sure it doesn't come all apart for me. But this part's a little bit tricky. Like I said, it's better to have someone helping you. If two people can do it, it goes a lot faster. But I have to wedge this piece down in between the two mounts. So if you notice, I'll kind of angle it a little bit, the TVs away from each other, like this, and I'll kind of get this piece wedged in here, right? and I push it down just enough where the rubber washers are still in place, right? And you notice just a little bit is sticking out of the top. See how not too much of it is sticking out, right? Again, when you have two people, it goes a lot faster. Now that's basically, you know, the setup for that. Then I take my Allen wrench and my wrench here. You see how it has a nice little turn to it. On one side, put my Allen wrench into the bolt there. Then on my other side, I start tightening the bolt. That way. Now the trick on this is you want to get it tight enough to just stay on there, but you don't want to get it so tight that it like breaks the plastic mount. So what I try to do is I try to get, you know, about a 1/2 inch or so on one side, you can see. Then I'll go to the other side. Same process, stick it in my Allen wrench. Nope, I'm going the wrong way. I do that all the time. This is where you got to be careful you don't mess up your rubber washers that are holding the piece on. Okay, now if you notice, it's about 1/2 inch on each side, right? Then what I'll do from here is I'll loosen my main piece, right? Get it kind of extended up. I always like to do it right below this line so I can use my little washer, or not a washer, but my little post there. And then I tighten it up again where it's nice and tight. Then I extend this base, right? I try to extend it all the way. If you notice, come over here on this side. You'll notice there's another thing that I tighten up right there. Just hand tight is good. So now my base is tight, my extension is tight, and my TVs are tight. Now it's simply a matter of lifting them up, spinning the base over, and setting it up. I can kind of adjust it a little bit. I'll check to make sure I'm good here bracket-wise, and everything is nice and secure. The next part is simply plugging in my cords. This will feel tricky at first, but it goes pretty simple. The long one is the one going, of course, to the monitor. And these plugs on the top connect to the TV. So there's a couple here. There's the power. If you notice, these have the little square and circle on one side. I believe the square goes outside my memory. Yep, serves me right. So I plug that in. And then for that side, I'll need an HDMI. And then for this side, I go to my HDMI, and I usually go HDMI 1 just to get it in there. There you go, it's nice and in there. And I go to the other side. Same thing, square on the outside, push it up. HDMI, again, I got HDMI 1. And then I come down here to my power base, turn it around. I've got a couple of plugs I got to plug in here. I plug in my TV monitors. 1. Remember, one side's a little fatter than the other. 2, and then with this I plug in This is my splitter that powers it. Now everything is plugged up on the TV base. The monitor is all ready to go. Now I just need to hook the monitor to a power source and then hook the TV. So you can see here, here's our power source, right? Plugs in there nice and easy. And the long cord, right, the long HDMI, plugs in here right to the computer. So now my TV is all assembled. There are some remotes, but it's much easier just to do everything manual. Turn on the TVs here on each side. They're mirrored, so they just come on. And you're basically all ready to go. One thing I'd encourage you to do is talk to your tournament operator. And when you talk to your tournament operator, they'll help you get it all linked to the computer. That can be a little tricky sometimes because you have to get it on the right input. And that's what really is important. You got to get it on the right HDMI, and then it connects to the computer. It makes it pretty simple. They'll pull up the tournament software on there, you know, the USA bracketing, it's pretty easy. But as a tournament organizer, if you can just get the setup ready to go, your tournament operator will be able to help you adjust all these and do all these things. So again, it doesn't take that long. It takes a few seconds. It takes a minute, but I've found that if you have a couple of people working together, it goes a lot faster even than that. So, and maybe you won't be all old like me and break a sweat just putting the clock together. So appreciate your support, and we appreciate trying to support you guys. Good luck at your event, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask our staff. Thanks.